Hi everyone, welcome to Converge, a place where conversations matter and conversations lead to action. Today, I'm here with my sister, who I'm very fond of, and I don't even know how to introduce her, but one thing I know is she's a prayer warrior. So, Thelma, how would you introduce yourself?
I would say I'm definitely one of God's favorite daughters. I'm a wife, a mom, an entrepreneur, and I love life. I love to have fun, and I enjoy spending time with my friends. So I enjoy spending time with you.
Definitely. All right. And so I just want to speak about one area that is at the core of most people, our beliefs, our spirituality. So I just want to, like as you've mentioned, you're a mom, you're an entrepreneur. Where does your spirituality fit into all of that?
It fits into every aspect of who I am and what I do, because at the very beginning, I'm a spiritual being. I'm just having an earth experience. I'm just having a human experience. So this is essentially the uniform that we wear to be in the earth realm.
Definitely.
So that's what makes me a human being. But really, I'm a spiritual being expressing myself in the earth realm. And so that's how it influences everything that I do. I view things from an aerial point of view.
Definitely.
So from above, looking down below to say.
Yes. That makes sense. So basically what I'm understanding is you're saying for you, it doesn't matter whether you're dealing with your children or your marriage or, whether you're dealing with even business decisions. For you, the main thing is your spirituality. Then everything else,
Yes.
stems from that.
Yes,
Okay,
everything else then follows. It's not always easy to have your spirituality at the forefront, because humaning is a fun experience. So one tries to always deal with grace in whatever situation,
Yes.
because at the end of the day, every day is our first time living that day.
That is
so many experiences are our first time experiencing those things. When my child became
like
a
don't
teenager,
have experience from it before, or
Exactly.
from the previous life.
Exactly. We don't have any previous lives. This is not revision, and there's no do-over. This is literally the test is as you write the test.
It's a life test.
Yes. The lesson is during the test. So
sounds hectic.
yeah, it's
See,
fine.
when you put it like that, I'm like, okay, I've got to be attuned, because if I mess it up, I can't go and be like, okay, let me just redo today.
Well, there's lots of room to mess it up, because that's part of the human experience.
That's true.
And that's where grace comes in, for not just from God, whom we worship, who is our Father, whom we have relationship with,
Yes.
but that's where grace comes in as people in relationships. Because it's my first time dealing with today.
Yes.
As me. You can have grace for me. And likewise, and the same goes in my relationships with my children, with my husband. It's all our first time. We haven't been husbands and wives in previous previous lives. Yeah,
That's true. You just posed another question. So, is it easy to receive grace or to give grace? Like, how would you define, the importance of grace? Because you mentioned it quite a few times.
Yeah. Well, it depends on the situation, really, and also on who is being dealt with.
Okay.
It's easier to give grace to children, because they are most of the time a blank slate.
Yes.
They don't know a lot of things except what we've taught them. And then with adults, it's like you should know better, and if you should know better, you should do better.
Yes.
But we don't always do better, even though we know intellectually what we should. And so we have to actually exercise that muscle of giving each other grace.
Yes. Okay, makes sense. So I have an interesting question here. How do you discern between intuition, faith, and fear when it comes to making major decisions in your life?
Well, for me, intuition is sort of the how can I call it, like the operating system that
Yes.
that was put in us. And faith and fear are pretty much two sides of the same coin. So when I have faith, when I'm moving in faith, I have faith in the positive outcome. I have faith in the higher power that is God, that is Christ, who is in control of my life. And when I'm in fear, I'm having faith still, but I'm having faith in the negativity of the situation. I'm having faith in the negative outcome. So I'm having faith in the power of the opposition of who God is in my life. And that's where fear comes from, because perfect love casts out fear. And God is love. He is perfect love. And he does cast out the fear.
I'm condemned because I'm
No,
thinking...
you're not.
No, but check. You are saying fear. Because for me, I've always seen it as, like what you're saying, it's two sides of a coin.
Yeah.
So when I have faith, that means it's the absence of fear. When I have fear, it's the absence of faith. But you are saying fear is faith in the wrong thing. So it's faith in...
It's faith in the opposite
direction. So that means I'm saying, okay, God, this you can't handle.
Yeah. It's like you're needing an insurance policy on God. You're needing a plan B on God.
Like, God, show me something here.
Yeah, but we walk by faith, not by sight. And our faith is the title deed of what we haven't experienced yet. It's still in the spirit realm. Our thoughts are spirit.
Yes, this is true.
So it's still in that realm. So that's where our faith is. And then we don't fake it till we make it. We faith it till we make it. We move in faith.
True. I'm trying.
We're all trying. Like I said, the test is during the lesson.
Yes.
We are learning as we're being tested. And that's the beauty of the human experience.
Sometimes you realize how far you are. When something happens, you realize, okay, I'm far.
Yeah, and the beauty of it is we were created in the realm of time. We're not yet in eternity, so we get to do our corrections. This side of eternity, we get to do our corrections and say, you know what, yesterday wasn't so great. We try again today. Eat, take a nap, try again tomorrow.
True. I know there's someone in the Bible who was told eat and sleep, and then tomorrow you can see. I think it was Elijah.
Yeah, it was Elijah.
You are watching Converge, where conversations matter and conversations lead to action. Stay tuned. So, as a businesswoman, right, who is operating in faith over fear, right? So if you could redesign the business culture just to, so that it better supports women in terms of our spirituality, in terms of our maternal lives, like what would be the first thing you change?
I think the first thing I would change would be the mindset of the women involved.
Yes.
Because before we start looking at structural changes and external changes, the change really starts with us. From the inside. Our belief system, what do we believe in ourselves? Do we believe in what we are doing? Because someone could be really brilliant or have a brilliant idea, but if they don't believe in themselves, if they're going to be timid, then it's hard to succeed. So I would start there. Start with the person behind the business, or the person inside the business. And say, let's help them realize their full potential. Let's help them realize the bigness of what they could be doing with what they have.
Just to realize their potential.
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. My thing, right? I'm thinking, do you feel that the current business environment allows for spirituality? Because I've seen, with other religions, like if you go to Mall of Africa, there's a whole floor just for prayer.
Yeah.
But I know if I'm in a business meeting and I say, can I have 5 minutes to go pray? I don't think people are going to look at it so positively.
Yeah. With regards to that, I find the Eastern religions have made a very big mark in the world in terms of making their spirituality their actual identity. Whereas I'll speak from Christianity because I'm a Christian. with a lot of Christians, because we live in a world that is the way it is,
Yes.
we want to be, in being so accepting, we try to be politically correct and compromise a lot.
True.
If we made our faith part of our identity, it shouldn't be a surprise to say, okay, guys, we're having this meeting for however long because by this time I need to be out of here. And people just know by this time she needs to get out of here because she needs to pray, or we're going to start at this time because right now she's in prayers. It should just, there are actually companies, big corporations that start their day as a whole organization on the stock exchange, by the way.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, that start off their days with prayer.
That's encouraging.
Yes,
That's
I've heard of this. I know of a real estate agency
Yes.
where part of their HR department comprises of a prayer department. So yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So there are actually people that are on the payroll just to pray about the business, about the organization, and what's happening there. And like right now, it surprised you. When I found out that information, it surprised me.
True.
Why is it surprising us?
That's the sad part.
As children of God, we should be taking dominion because we were given that power at the very beginning. When we read in Genesis, it tells us that we've been given dominion over the earth and all that stuff. But I think our biggest issue as Christians is we don't actually take God at His word.
Yes.
So
we don't have enough faith.
So we don't believe Him. Never mind having enough. We actually just don't believe God, and it's sad. Because imagine you have your child and you tell them at 1 o'clock I'm coming to fetch you from school, and they don't believe
And
you.
your child's just looking for an Uber.
They start looking for an Uber at 5 to 1, and you're like, and you arrive, and the Uber's arrived, and you're like, what's this? And they're like, oh, I
really thought you were not going to come through for me.
And your kid had a plan B for you, and
That's
it's
painful.
like, yeah,
That's
and
really
and
painful.
yet God has a very great track record in everyone's life, not just in the Bible, not just in the Old Testament, in everyone's lives. In yours, in mine, even
We
when
all
we
have testimonies on it.
even when we haven't noticed, if we look back, we will realize there are places where we've been taken out of situations or we've been brought into spaces
Yes.
that we didn't know how to get into, that we on
Which is
paper
a
didn't
testimony,
deserve,
definitely.
and it can only be God. Yeah.
And you know, even the word says, God is not a man that he should lie,
Yeah.
or a son of man that he should change his mind.
Yeah.
And still, with all that reassurance, we are still saying, God, I can't make you part of my identity, which is really saddening. But the good thing is we are having these conversations
Yeah.
because, like what you're saying, as Christians, we have tried to make the world accept us,
Yeah.
but we're not of the world, you know. And yet, other religions, they're coming forceful,
Hard and
they're
strong, and they're
saying,
saying, this is who I am, accept me as I am, take it or leave it. But with
Definitely.
Christians, we're not taking it or leave it. We want to be chameleons and put on that religion, put on this facade, put on...
we're so accepting of it. Because I remember there's been times where I actually stand in front of a shop because between 12 to 2 they're closed.
Yeah.
So they're like, you can go with your money, and guess what, we wait for them.
We wait.
But let a Christian say that I cannot do this extra work on a Sunday, then you know that a warning is loading.
Yeah, yeah. And that's really sad, because we just need to be confident in the God that we worship and say,
That we worship.
what is this faith that I have? What is it really about? Who is it
True.
really that I'm worshiping? And a lot of it comes from actually not understanding the character of who we're worshiping.
That's true.
It's like we have secondhand faith. My mom used to pray. My dad
Yeah.
used to pray. So I pray. But what are you praying to? Who are you praying to? What are you praying even? What are the words that you're
Which
saying?
was okay for, you know, for Lois and Priscilla, you know, when it's generational
Yes,
faith,
yeah.
but not when we are not just, you know, picking at it and we don't really understand who Christ is in our lives, in our own separate lives.
Yeah, it's like it's okay to have secondhand faith, but you need to know how to use it. Because if you look at if you have a tool that was handed down from your grandmother to your mother to
Yes,
you,
yes.
they used it well. They knew how to use it, and then it comes to you. It doesn't help that you have it if you don't know how
You
to
don't have
work
the
it.
instructions.
Exactly. So we need to know, how do we use our faith? How do we operate this brilliant machinery, this brilliant software that we've been given?
I have a story that's not funny, you know,
Okay.
but a guy passed on, a young man, you know,
Yeah.
he passed on, and the elders were like, we're taking everything that our child was owning, and they took the car as well. But because they couldn't drive,
Oh boy.
so they started using that car, cutting out the door to make pots.
Okay. Yeah.
So imagine a vehicle that's moving and gets to a point where it now becomes,
Flower pot.
yeah,
And that's now the thing is not being used to its full potential, and yet it's such an asset.
true.
It's
So
like,
when someone is sick in the family, they have to go hire out a car,
Oh,
but they have
boy.
enough pots.
oh yeah, no, that doesn't work. It's like growing cabbages on a gold field, on a gold
Yes,
mine.
yes. So you have vegetables, but you don't
Yeah.
have the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm really really excited because we speaking we're speaking regarding faith,
Yeah.
regarding spirituality, and this is not just as we mentioned before, this is not just for my grandmother or for my mother. It's saying as a modern woman, young, old,
Yeah.
you are balancing family, you're balancing business, you're balancing community, you're balancing all those things. Where is your spirituality? Is it only when now there's a crisis, then we say, I must go to a prophet and he prays for me? Or is this something that we are leading with? So whoever knows us, they know this one is a prayer warrior. So whether I'm in the boardroom, they know that I'm going to pray. Whether it's at my child's school, they know that I'm going to pray. Whether it's in my marriage, they know that I'm going to pray. But it's up to you as well at home, or on the road, wherever. No, that's not safe. You at home or wherever you're watching from, to also just chip in, let us know what spirituality really means for you. Because I feel like sometimes we use God as a business card for a lawyer. So you don't really like them, you don't even know their name. But the moment there's a crisis, you're like, there's a lawyer I spoke to. Let me just find their number. So if you go 2-3 years with no problem, you're okay.
You're not talking
but the
to
moment
them.
there's a
My
crisis,
goodness.
definitely.
That's painful. If you think about it as God really is our Father, that's where we come from. That's how come we have a spirit inside of us, because
True.
God is spirit, and those who worship Him in spirit and in truth. So really and truly, we're spirit.
Yes.
And imagine if your child didn't talk to you for a whole week, just 1 week, how painful that would be.
And they're still eating your food, sleeping in your house.
Listen, if they were using you as an ATM because they know mom will always give me what I ask for because she loves me, but really I don't care for a relationship.
I don't even get to know mom, like what's her favorite color. Like, we don't care about knowing God.
Yeah.
As long as he provides when I want.
Oh my goodness.
But I'm convicted, so I really need to sharpen my relationship. The same way I want my kids to wake up and say, good morning, mommy.
Yes.
Mommy, my day was like this. To go to my father
and say, good morning, God.
Good morning, God. My day was good, thank you. Or my day was challenging. Please come through for me. I have another question for you. Regarding our spirituality and business, right?
Yeah.
So, are there any spiritual practices? I know we did touch on this a little bit.
Yeah.
That keep you grounded when business life becomes demanding or ethically complex?
I always pray. I always pray. It sounds cliche, but I have to do that just to ground myself, just to get calm.
Yes.
But I can only pray so much. I'm not an island. So God gave me people around me. He gave me you. He gave me other ladies,
Amen.
other people that are wise, that know how to handle certain situations.
Sure.
So I have a wise company of people on speed dial.
Yes.
That if I'm facing something, I know I can always call somebody. And as Joyce Meyer says, you should always go to the throne before you go to the phone, right?
Yes, yes, true.
And sometimes it's not always easy. You just think, let me just call so-and-so because I'm in this crisis. But really, my community around me helps to keep me grounded.
Yes.
And God himself, the amount of times that he has come through for me as him himself, not even through someone else, where I can just say, the only way this came through or this happened
is God. And I never told you this,
Yeah.
But then there are times when things have been hectic, challenging, and I think of some of the testimonies you shared with me.
Really?
Yes. And I'm like, God, the God of my sister.
Oh, wow.
Yes, So it really helps. I mean, even the word says they overcame by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. So that's good. And I'm also thinking, if Joyce Meyer says, go to the throne before the phone. Sometimes if the phone takes you to the throne, That's also
That's
good.
also good. Yeah.
Yes. The
Yeah.
only problem is, if you're friends where you say someone was disrespecting me, and they say, "Come, I've got my
We're
back."
going-
Yeah,
We're going
Let's
bulu
go.
bashing. Oh my gosh.
Exactly. So it really helps. I mean, even Jesus had 12 of those.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we really cannot be an island. I think if that's one takeaway,
Yeah.
let's not be an island, but let's have like-minded people. In as much as this has been resonating with you, let's share the information. So remember, like, comment, share, subscribe.
Yeah, and also it's important to have a discerning spirit, and we don't just wake up being discerning. Some people are blessed to be born that way,
Yes.
but we should ask for that gift of discernment from God and say, help me to be discerning so that you can make those decisions on your feet.
True.
But also to be able to be discerning when you ask someone to help you, and you know who to ask in certain situations.
Asking the right
Because
people.
because if you have, let's say, a health situation, you have a heart issue, let's say,
Yes.
you're not going to go to your mechanic and say, please help me with or if you, let's say you have a dental problem, you're not going to your mechanic for that. He's got a pair of pliers. That guy is knocking out all those teeth.
He's gonna help you.
Okay, if he's gonna help you, that's what he's gonna do.
Take out all the teeth.
Right? But likewise, I'm not asking my dentist for car tips, because that's not their area of expertise.
That's not the right
so we need discernment, just that wisdom to say, okay, the person I'm talking to, have they faced this? Would they know how to handle this? Or am I talking to them just because I like the sound of my own voice? Or,
And if they walked that walk.
exactly, yeah.
Because it's tough, to go to someone, let's say, who's not married,
Yeah.
with a marriage issue, because they're gonna say, "Why are you there?"
Yeah.
Or go
Yeah.
to someone who doesn't believe in not paying bribes, and you say, "I have this challenge," where maybe business partners pushing
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna say, "So what's your problem?"
Yeah, they'll be like, just bring out the money. Do you not have money? And yeah, you have it, but
And they'll even offer you.
Yes, and they'll want to help you because, friend, that's small potatoes, and it's like,
Like, this is small.
yeah, and when you get that check in your spirit, that unease,
Yes, that conviction.
that's Holy Spirit saying to you, my child, this is not how we do things. We don't do that here. Yeah, they can do it where they do it, but here
But
we
not
don't.
you.
Not you. Here we don't do that. It's just like when you're parenting your children. A lot of the time they'll say, "Oh, but my friend, their mom or their dad lets them, or they have this and they do this there," and you turn around. I know many moms turn around and say, "I'm not their mom, and they're not the children in this household." And sometimes we can be so cheeky as to say, "Okay, go be a child there, and you don't have to live here." And our children always turn around and say, "No, I like being a part of this family."
True.
And we must remember, if we enjoy being a part of the family that we are, the family of God,
Yes,
we
yes,
have
yes.
sonship in God. We must know, okay, here, this is how we do things. We don't do it like that. We do it
There's
like
another
this.
fun one where
Yeah.
the mom will always say, "So if your friend goes to jump off the cliff, are you gonna jump with them as well?"
Yeah, or
to
if they
say-
put their head in a hot oven, are you also
Are you
going
gonna do that?
Like, can you use your brain?
That's true. So, growing up, I know we did speak about, grandmothers will pray and mothers will pray. But there are also, older people who did not have as much information or as much knowledge. So what lies about womanhood or success, did you believe earlier on? And then you've realized that, I have to unlearn this,
Wow. Coming from generations of very strong women,
Yes.
where they were so strong to the point of independence. One of the lies I grew up believing was women just can go it alone or should go it alone, not asking for help in many situations. And I've come to realize that there's a reason why God made me to not be a superhero
Sure.
and made me to be what I am.
Just like Spider-Man.
See, I am not Spider-Man. I need help every so often, and the older you get, the more humble, or the more humbling life gets. You realize you are not invincible. You need help, and that was a lie that wasn't told to me, but that was taught by action, where I saw my great-grandmother, my grandmother,
doing
my mom,
everything.
just doing everything, being self-sufficient, being busy. And now I know I don't have to go it alone all the time. I can
Yes.
ask for help. whether it's from my friends, whether it's from my husband, whether it's from my sisters, my
Even
brothers,
from the kids.
even from the kids, especially from the kids, because they, I always love to say, youth is wasted on the young. They're young, they have the energy to do a lot of stuff. We don't have to be doing everything for them. There are things they can do for themselves. It helps them with their self-confidence anyway.
Plus, also, it helps you not resent them. Because if you're the only person who's running around, you start being annoyed, by the people around you. And yet, the fault is not on them.
Yeah.
As you were talking, there's something that came to mind. And I realized that in the Bible, most of the times, they will talk about the paralyzed man whose friends opened a roof. They will talk about Jesus sending his disciples in twos to go perform miracles. They will talk about Paul, even adopting Timothy to be his son, right? The only time where people were normally by themselves is when they had leprosy and they were shunned.
Yeah.
So if you see, most of the times when someone is sick, the worst part of that, you hardly ever hear that they were scratching or whatever, but you hear that they were chased away from community.
Right.
Meaning that community matters.
It does.
And it is important. So you can be an unmarried woman, there's sisterhood. You can be a young person, there's friendships.
Yes.
So there will always be, someone.
Yeah.
The challenge is to discern and get the right people around you. Yes. And even in Titus, they actually say, young women learn from the older women.
Yeah.
So you can actually also have people who are like a different age group.
Yeah.
As long as you're learning the right things from them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. I would say, in wrapping up, what advice would you give to younger women, even older women? I've realized that with these things, you can be in your 50s and scared to start a business.
Yeah.
And you get a 20-year-old who's running a business. So it's never really about age, it's about experience.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, what advice would you give to another woman who is afraid to choose, who feels that maybe they probably have to choose between family or faith and success?
Yeah. I would say to them, just go for it. Don't be afraid to start a business. Don't be afraid to begin again. The mercies of God are new every morning. You can start again anytime. And you don't have to separate to say my faith and my business are two different departments.
Yes.
My business and my family are two different departments. Sometimes it helps to involve your family in what you're doing. To say, guys, so this is what I want to achieve. This is the plan. Can you help me find somebody? Like if you have teenagers, they could be very good at tech. Ask them to help you with your design. You don't always have to have the most expensive graphic designer. Sometimes you have a child that actually can do that stuff.
And they're good at it.
And they're really good at it. Men tend to be very logical thinkers. Ask your spouse, ask your husband, what do you think of this idea? And you would be surprised at the wealth of knowledge that you can get from there. Don't separate things and think you are different entities at different times. Yes, you carry different hats at different times, but you're still the same person at all those times. So remember that you're still the same person. Yeah.
Okay. So you're young. Very young.
Okay, yes.
But I have one more question. What advice would you tell a younger Thelma that you feel, will change the trajectory of your life?
Yeah. I would tell a younger me to say, it'll be okay. Everything will be okay. It doesn't matter what it looks like, it'll still be okay. So go for it. Don't be afraid. Go for it. Yeah.
That's amazing. I think most of us wish, we just say someone who said go for it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times, we missed out because we're hesitating.
And a lot of the times we piggybacked on people's doubts about what we wanted to do, that sort of dampened our fire, our zeal for whatever ideas we had. And sometimes we need to realize and remember that when God gives you a vision, an idea, He calls you to something. It's not a conference call. It's not for everyone. It's just for you. And He made you unique for a reason. If He didn't want you to be doing the things that you have a fire to do, He wouldn't have made you unique. He'd have just done copy and paste. I saw a quote somewhere that said, you have brilliant ideas, or the thrust of it was you have brilliant ideas, amazing ideas. What makes you think you have extraordinary ideas? What makes you think you should be living an ordinary life?
That's what.
Yeah, and so we don't have to be living ordinary lives.
That's a proper ouchie. But what I'm realizing is, so we are taking people's doubts and making them our reality.
And adopting them, and
Yes, because we focus more on what if I fail, but what if we win? Because even if you fail, you're going to learn something.
okay. So I have an Instagram page called
Nice.
Dear Parenting Tips. So that's where you can find me with parenting tidbits about about sharing the parenting journey for children at all stages of life, some humor, some wisdom, fun stuff. It's a lovely place to be because everything is bite-sized. No lectures. We haven't done TED Talks on there yet.
That's amazing. You know what I've realized? I read somewhere and they were saying that your current struggles are your child's childhood. You know, so you are thinking, I'm stressed about this, I'm not managing this, but your child is growing.
Yeah.
So for anyone needing more information, we've also put Thelma's contact details in the comments. Please go visit the page, like, subscribe, and start following. It is fun parenting kids. I know there's stress and there's a lot going on, but it is also fun. So for more tips, please follow the link below.
And one thing you should always remember about parenting is that the days may be long, but the years are so short and they go by like that. So,
True.
yeah.
I saw, my nephew is almost my height. It's one of those. But thank you so much, and we'll be sure to put the details.
Thank you.
All right. But
Thank
just, before I release you, what's the one thing that you say if the audience can just pick this one thing, like your final parting word?
Wow. My final parting word would be have a faith that scares you, a faith that feels improbable, to say, and not just faith in your ideas, faith in God, to say, take him at his word. Have so much faith in him to say, wow, really, if you said this, you meant it, and go for whatever you want to go for, with the fallback that God meant what he said about whatever situation it is.
True. There it is, ladies and ladies. So even if it doesn't work out, God will still turn it for good. I'm going to close off with one of my favorite scriptures. I always say Jesus had 12 disciples and one walked on water. Why? Because he dared to try.
Yeah.
They were men more educated than Peter. Men more experienced than him, younger even, but none of them thought, I'm with the Messiah. I can try walking on water, not because of my ability, but because of the ability of the one that I'm walking with. So sometimes be encouraged. You can actually take a course because you are counting on the sister's good experience in it. You can start a business because your confidence, obviously it's in God, but your confidence is also coming from you have seen the need. So find something that is good about that idea and run with it. Be encouraged, and we really, really would love to hear from you. So in the comments, type whatever, that really resonated with you, and we'll chat to you again. Thank you.
Bye-bye.